Good evening, my fellow poker players. Thursday night, live stream time. Tonight I'm gonna play No Limit 5 on two platforms. One is Pokerstars, one is IPoker, and I will have a session focus. That's pretty general. I want to play a solid attack strategy, tight aggressive pre-flop game, and post-flop no fancy plays, just straightforward value poker. We'll turn on the sound in just a second. The lights too. Here we go. Probably would have 3-bet myself here if small blind wouldn't have done it. Here I get shoved on and find an easy fold. I'm not going to play a7 offsuit for over 40 big blinds, regardless of position or other stuff. Let's turn on the sounds. Hard is coming too in just a sec. We'll have to rebuild my my stats on the pool of No Limit 5 in IPoker. Has been a while since I played there. I've only done so a few hands in the latest 2 weeks. So a lot of players will be unknown. I'm gonna 3-bet 9s here. Just because position alone will not be good enough. We have the short stackers here that are playing quite strange plays. Don't know how I label him, but if I'm in for high variance game, I might call there and see some crazy hands from time to time. Don't really know what people do this with half stackers at push all in, but we have to see that there was my 3-bet, and there was quite a lot of Sorry, I'm back. There was quite a lot of money in the pot already, so having 15 in the pot and shoving 43 or what it was, it's not all too bad risk-reward ratio. Are we gonna get a villain in the hand here with ace king? Yes, we do. And as this one is marked red, I cannot really say if he is a regular or not. I decided to call. Was thinking about doing a 4-bet here, but he will assign me a tight range if he's a reasonable player. And now on this board, my hand is actually quite bad, but my range still is okay. I also have jacks in my hand here. I have queens. I probably have tens. So I call here. Possible it doesn't like this turn card because it completes a straight draw, which I will not have very often. If I want to make a move, I should probably make it here. But am I willing to? I don't think this 13 big blinds represents a lot of strength. No, it's just too dangerous. I will not get fancier. That was one of the focuses. But calling the flop only to see if I hit the turn can't be the plan either. So I will on occasion do a move here. I'm just not really sure if this is the proper spot. And so I took the better safe than sorry line. We get nines again. Had these already. And I remember from the beginning of the year when I was playing NL5 and NL10 speed poker, there was always 3-bet when someone opened up the betting in late position. And here I should actually really know what these red tables here mean. So this can be a spot to check raise. Probably really can. Because the board gets dangerous here and I block the straights. And I find it interesting enough that he bets so small. Might even consider calling. No. I'm gonna choose the aggressive line, but he insta calls, and so this river might be a scare card if he doesn't have a very good hand himself. I'm gonna choose something block bet style. And I get immediately called by, of course, a jack. So run into the top of his range here, and I couldn't scare him off by the flush possibility that got there on the river. Don't know if a bigger bet would have achieved that goal, or if he's the kind of player that can't really get away from it anyway. Gonna try find regular tables just because I can feel playing these speed tables kind of makes me nervous and itchy. So there were hands already twice where I probably didn't play a solid game but more of a fancy game style, so gonna choose the regular tables where I get hot stats and tendencies and all pretty quick, and I might be able to hand read better and not play all too fancy. Yeah, I will steal once again here with the ace on the button. I remember, yes. The HUD wasn't working on speed poker. I remember that problem because I was in written contact with the Pokerstars guys. Look at that. I get queens. And unfortunately no action on the queens. Last week in the stream I tried to ask myself regularly how I'm feeling. I just described that, so if you just came in, playing iPoker here felt not all too good. I had 2 hands already that were not solid. And so once again I will hit the sit out button and search for a regular table. Also I think it's harder to beat those games even with a HUD that was working but isn't. So back to searching better tables. I know I always put me back in, that's not the idea. He clicks it back. I have ace-2 offsuit. I have to call 1.40 to win 6.6, so gonna do that. And we do get those min bets. I usually read for weak hand. Will be cautious when he starts betting bigger, which is the case now. So he might have hit a jack and hit the second one on the turn. He might have queen 10, something like that, and I was behind always, so no, not gonna play that. Let's just do it like this, because I will miss again and click me back in. Fold. Budani, I don't know if I can call your name right. Siamal Budani. Thank you. You loved the live stream. I'm astonished because the performance wasn't all too good the latest months. Probably borderline open. Not sure if ace-2 suited is even in an opening range so early, but it gets through. No, it wouldn't be. Ace-2 suited actually only is in a button and big blind opening range. Big blind probably means when limped into. So a little loose there. Let's see if there's some good tables on Pokerstars. Someone asks in the chat if I'm good. Don't know what you really mean as a poker player. There's an ocean ahead of me to improve. I try to take on that journey. As a person right now, I feel okay. I had a long day at work, so I feel a little more awake than I did last week. Look there, we have a limper. Probably do my session timer up in the middle. Thinking about 3-betting this player as a bluff because he has a very wide range, but I do not have any info on how he reacts versus 3-bets. So probably not gonna choose a hand like this for a first 3-bet bluff. I might be able to play a third table. If you are on a mobile phone, chances are you will not see any detailed stats anymore, if you even can. With the... Let's see if it works. No, we'll have to change the layout manually. Oh, 3 tables now. So I can take the session timer down here again. Time to bring a graph into your field of view on the bottom right. Not gonna call Jack 10 offsuit suited here, even though the player has crazy values and immediately gets a green badge from me. Look at that, he insta calls. No question, this guy is gonna play. Don't like the flop at all, but there are so wonderful odds I do have to call. Unfortunately, the board doesn't get any better on the turn, but look at that min bet or almost min bet and the call. So none of these players has a really strong hand right now. We probably all are sitting on an ace high hand or on a middle pair, low pair. Wouldn't be surprised to see pocket trees and ace high here. Now after that action sequence, I'm pretty sure it will not be hands like this, but something like a poker pair that turned into a full house on the way. We will see. Wow. Can we get that again? That was a crazy hand. But look at that. That's the hand he calls a high 3-bet with even a 4-bet. Unbelievable. I want to play these players some more. Where has he gone to? In some numbers then? Has he left? Seems so. Here, against this player, 5 hands, but 60 stats, absolutely unreasonable. He's surely an active player. And we will get the first reaction of him versus a 3-bet. He knows to fold, we will have 100% here because there's only one instance. King Queen. First offsuit king I'm gonna open in early position. We do hit here, we do not have any backdoor draw. Probably gonna overbet, and now that's the action killer, and I will not get called by better hands if I continue betting. A poker pair, a pair of aces with a mediocre kicker on that board, it's just plain nothing. And now, yes, he can have a 5th card to the flush, and he will very often, but I have to call 2 to win 10. So 1 in 5, I will need to win this hand, and this is probably okay. Odds call, I did lose the hand, no problem. Had to be expected, and he probably chose just the right bet size to squeeze out some bit of value out of me. However, he gets the green badge. Standard steal with ace 8 offsuit here. I have a laggish player versus me here. I don't think he hits that board as often, but neither do I, and we probably both know that, so I'm gonna check behind because I have some showdown value here with my ace. Now my hand seems quite okay. I could probably think about raising here. Don't really know if there's any merits. I have the full house, and this third 9 I really like because he would need to have a higher poker pair than 8s to beat me here. And so I will... oh, missed the hand in the middle. But I will value raise here. And he obviously was on a bluff and tried to steal the pot with just a pretty high bet, which was like 2/3 or 3/4, something like that. 8 into 11. Do the math yourself. I'm actually not a math guy. Not at all. If we get him in the hand and some other callers, I'm really okay with a hand like pocket 2s, because the value of such a hand comes from sets and better combinations. On this kind of flop, my range hits pretty well, my actual hand doesn't. But look at this player's 73-7. If he doesn't tighten up a lot on post flop, then it will not be a good situation here. Not sure if I can 3-bet here this guy, and I really don't want to call because he has better aces than I do. And so I do a very nitty fold here. You can easily say this is too nitty and I should have 3-bet, but I would turn the hand into a pure bluff, and I don't really like that. And calling and playing a hand out of position, possibly with a better ace on my opponent, I also don't like. So better safe than sorry. And I have to watch out that my 3-bet values combined, that they do contain 3-bet bluffs, but I don't want to have a a very bluff heavy 3-bet range from my blinds, and I'm really not sure if this one. I have to think about what I'm doing here. Gonna 3-bet here. Very nice flop. I can play it cool. Very dangerous, very connected flop here. Gonna think about how I will get value here in the middle table. Chances are he stays passive. Should I bluff bet the river? I mean, no, I don't. In the end, he has the flush. And I bet into him. But that's the situation I tried avoiding. If I make it 10 here into 40, he's having it much harder to bluff, whilst the line I took, it's pretty easy for him to do this with a broad, with his whole range. So that would be the advantage of betting. Probably will have to look into similar spots to see if this is a league opening me up to a very easy bluff target on the river. Because what I can say is I did analyze value betting thin on the river, and my finding there was that on the micro stakes, no limit 5, no limit 10, I did have the impression that not too many players that are reasonable use the river to bluff raise or to donk bet regularly. Go away. Ace queen. Small blind versus big blind. No action. Here against this player, he opens under the gun, but he does have a very broad range here, and he also has a 50% opening range under the gun, so probably he isn't very positional aware. Now he donk bets into me on a flop like this. He doesn't play crazy amount of hands pre-flop, so he might have hit the ace. Then we're borderline. If he is positional aware, he will not be opening worse aces than I called with. And what's also possible is that he flopped a set of nines to turn a full house. But here I'm really curious and I want to know. Ace 10. Sorry for that sound. So the initial read was correct. If you didn't see it, he really opened up under the gun with ace 10 suited and called a 3-bet on my side, which is interesting because I myself, I probably would have opened here depending on the players after me here, but I wouldn't call a 3-bet from someone playing 15-10 on the button. I just wouldn't, because I would have to play the hand out of position, and the tag with the better range will always have the advantage to act after me, so no way I'm opening and calling a 3-bet with ace-10 suit early position versus attack. Here, I do wanna stay in the pot and I don't like overcalling, so we'll try to isolate that whale here that plays 2/3 of his hands and only raises 5. And look at that, beautiful. The board is pretty nice for me because it's 1 high too low, and now I want to have some value. I make it pot size on the turn. But the ace probably was a scare card for him. We have 3-bet value of 5% here on the left table and unknown, but ace-7, no, not gonna call here because this guy sits on 31 big blinds and might easily just decide to jam over the isolation raise here. Do I isolate here? No, because I do not like that 25 BB stack size. If he plays the way he should, which his stats doesn't indicate, then he will play a solid Broadway card strategy and open up a lot of king queens, ace jack, ace queen, pocket tens, stuff like that. And against that, ace 5 is just not good enough. Let's hope the whale doesn't lose his stack, but he does. It's not the whale, it's the guy with 25 BBs, no biggie. How am I feeling? A lot calmer than when I had the IPoker speed table open. I did have a solid call down with my ace jack hand here on a table to the left. I think it was the table to the left, not really sure. Yeah, I think it was this guy here. Had opened ace-10 suited. I had ace-jack offsuit, 3-bet he called. We hit the ace. He donk bets 3 streets, but not an incredibly high amount. I call him down. On a board that wasn't particularly scary, and he lost the showdown because of a first kicker. Now here with that 4-3 suited against the guy that calls 70% of hands. If I had a bigger stack, say 150 BBs plus, it would be a beautiful situation to isolate him, even with a hand that looks bad on the surface. But the bigger the stacks, the more room to play out and make good hands. It's speculative starting hands. But I'm almost at my starting stack with only 107 BBs, so I only have one opponent here. Gonna do a block bet. That's what I was talking before when I was analyzing river spots and thin value bets. I do have an impulse to say on a board like this, well, I do have showdown value. I have a poker pair. It blocks some straights, but Yeah, he could have river to 7, he could have hit to 6 and not bet on it. So when I bet this river here, he will only call me with better hand. And truth is that a lot of players just fold these borderline hands when you bet into them. And if you take your value hands on one side and bet small with those, and some bluff hands like missed draws on the other hand, then you get quite a lot of folds. Awful turn card. Action killer for me, probably for him too. I only block a possible straight with 10 jack. He might have hit quite hard here if he was on a draw. And my second pair here might not be good anymore. 22-6 players, so yeah, he might have the random queen, he might have hit a better hand, the draw that was lying out there, so no, not gonna call here. Do I have players to mark? Look at this, this is interesting. 35-29 player. Didn't have a 3-bet before. 3 bets from the blinds versus 2 limpers. 2 limpers that I will have to immediately label green, because this behavior is just not the one that winning players use. I think he's gonna call. I have the gut feeling he's gonna call. Nope. Strange that he makes it 8 big blinds versus 2 limpers. Here I will fill up my small blind just because there are 2 limpers and someone that doesn't 3-bet so far. Would have been a nice call 2-bet here in the big blind, closing the action and only having to call 2 BBs, but then the button that plays aggressive, no, not really aggressive, just loose, somewhat passive. 36-14 crosses my plans, makes it 9. I like the size. Interestingly enough, there was a call of this 3-bet by the laggish player here, 26-23. With king queen against aces. So this 3-bet here really was for value. It's an odds call again. I'm sorry. We are 3-way. Both players check. My 9s might still be good, but I don't like betting into that king. Ooh. Now it gets interesting. 2 players both check here twice. So they won't have a king all too often, and then he does have the king and plays it very passively. Probably thought having a 4 as a kicker isn't good enough. But then, when he's ready to call such a big bet, why doesn't he do it himself? This guy here, or this gull here, plays a tag style, 1917, 7% 3-bet. Very solid stats. And here I go for a bluff 3-bet with ace-3 suited that has blockers to his best cards. I like that a lot more than 3-betting. And now doing it again would be overdoing it. I do have a nice hand to play it multi-way if flopping good. Easy fold on that board. 11% 3-bet here, left table from this guy in the small blind. And no reliable stats on the big blind. This table here has a combined total of 18 VPIP, 14 PFR, 6 pre-flop raise. Seems like a tag fest. Do I even have one player here that really can be a target of me? I don't really think so. Don't really know if I should mark a 24-21 player with 4% 3-bet as a tag, which is red, or as a lag, which would be the yellow color. But it's 74 hands, so good tendency there. Fold to 3-bet 60%, that's reasonable too, I'd say. Fold to flop c-bet 0%, only 2 instances. This table's gonna close, so check out for an alternative. Yes, gonna 3-bet or isolate here. Let's make it 6 BBs. I have to compensate for playing out of position as a small blind and compensate for his very call-friendly stats. Let's call it like this, 71% PFR. Aces. Nobody wants to play. Yes. Big blind does want to play. Very dry flop. No, not a dry flop, but hard to hit board. I don't like making it smaller than 4 into 6. Because I do want to build the pot and people should pay if they want to play. Can you have a too high c-bet success rate or no? On a hand like this, I tend to ask myself this question. Always, when I have a value hand and I want to bring that value in, I bet big and everybody folds. Question comes, did I make it too high and thus earn the folds because there was just a too thin part of villain's range that could even consider calling that bet? Because pot size bets do often fold out the middle pairs, the under pocket pairs to the board. And even some draws that do have something like 20-25% equity. Here we're heads up. I will start betting just to see if he might have a piece of that board. Not gonna open up ace-3 offsuit in this position. Just too bad. So I like this table here. Seems like there's another one player with 75 hands played. None of that has a raise into the table. I have 67 hands on this player here. 23-18. I would say this can still qualify as a tag. What other tendencies? Doesn't like to fold to c-bets, but only one instance. He bets flop 60% as the pre-flop aggressor. C-bet flop, that's okay. He also likes to continue on turns when having the initiative. And he also c-bets the river. So with that stance, I would have expected a higher aggression factor than just 2.0. Still, he likes to fold to steal 100%. So this might be the reason I choose to open ace-9 here. Not sure if it's in the starting hands chart of Sky Matsuhashi. Cutoff, yes, standard. First offsuit hand that can be open from cutoff and small blind. But it can stand a 3-bet here, so it's end of line. Session time is 48 minutes. Surely gonna continue until the hour is full. How am I feeling? Pretty well, actually. I recognize that by talking about hands that are in the past, that's a bad habit because it steals focus from the actual hand. That's surely not the way to go. But then again, this is a live stream and people might like that. At least for me, when I watch Twitch streamers, I do like if they comment what they do. I don't like watching streams when there's like one word every two minutes. Isolating possibility, but attention, he only has 25 big blinds. But the hand is okay-ish versus a range that's gonna limit call 25 big blinds. I hit the open-ender here. I do have... My range hits that board too, but I guess his calling range does it as well. And I might prefer just to take the free card here. Don't really like that turn. And the bet size of him. He's playing 45-0. And in my experience, if these kind of players starts betting big, they usually have it. Very nice flop, tight aggressive opponent, 20 folds, we don't know. But I'm gonna c-bet not too low. Now this is a wonderful turn. And we probably are going to ask ourselves again, Tommy boy, why did you bet so big? He would have to be running away. You bet 9 into 13, into 14. But no, look at that. I would have liked a king of hearts on the board. I'm inclined to check just because he's an aggressive player, but then I'm gonna look very dumb if he just checks it back. Now here, do I go for the high variance play? Am I ready to call 18 big blinds to win 23 when at least he's gonna have one overcard? No, that's just bad risk reward. I'm not scared, but I think it's just not, that's not a good value proposition here. I mean, if he does that with King Jack, with Queen 10, no. I only have 240 invested in that pot. This guy is going to be marked as a laggish player, 31-24. Wow, c-bet flop 75%, c-bet turn 50%. Now I have two principles that collide. I would like to 3-bet, but I will just call here. Yeah, and exactly that's the thing I didn't want to happen. We played 3-bet a 3-way plot. But then again, if he's stealing range, that was the other principle I should finish the thought. If his opening range is so broad, he will have a lot of worse jacks and a lot of worse aces. I'm just sick of betting just 2 big blinds into a 7 big blind pot if I had the nuts and 2 opponents, just because I can hope that they're gonna call in a higher frequency. I do just need like every 6th or 7th pot that I get a call with my nuts and get a whole stack or a very big stack, part of the stack of my opponent, to make it up for all the times I will lose value of players that call 2 into 7. On that principle of value betting, there's a really nice video from Pete Clark. I do like Pete Clark. think he's Scottish, the way his English accent is. I like the way he thinks about poker, and he has a really nice humor. And he talks about that. What does it mean to value bet? Is it better to win 2 big blinds from someone if the pot is 7, or is it better to just go for pot or more than pot? And if I remember right, his way to think about it was in the end that he would much rather bet big and get call less frequent. No, this time again bluff 3-bet just because I have a suited king and he opens a lot. Now I'm gonna look bad. See bet flop 100%, but he doesn't fold. Yeah. I get some equity back. And I chose the aggressive line here. Which works out just fine. Just not sure if my check was the correct play versus a lot of opponents. Let's overbet that. Not even calling stations find the call. Probably too obvious. Why am I playing on this table here? Because of that 28-17 player? I can work with, I can live with that. PC bets flop 67%. Gonna try floating in here with this broad range. This kind of board doesn't really work all that well. What hand calls that? I'm blocking some part of the straight, and I will try value bet, bluff betting here. I'm gonna look dumb if he has the ace. The chances are he doesn't. So against the right opponents you can really bluff at the micro stakes, even though everybody says just don't do it. How can I refresh my time bank? I only have 1 second on the time bank here. This can turn out ugly the next time I need it. I think you can click on it and then it gets filled up after a certain time. Don't really know that. Ace King left table. Flop is pretty shitty for me. For a caller's range too. I'm gonna check here. Beautiful flop here on the middle table. Now I get a high card that I can use to bluff bet here. I have the calling station here. This time I will stop bluffing immediately. I will make it 25 into 32. But the calling station found the fault there. Doesn't matter. Red line is positive, by the way. So if that can be an indicator of good or bad play, solid or not solid, I might have at least come close to a solid game. That's interesting here. 3-bet 6%, but likes to isolate. I'm not gonna tolerate a light ISO raise here from this guy, and I'd probably call him down if he shoves. Because he's so active. God damn. Can I even hit with ace king? Yeah. This might be pocket tens, pocket jacks. Don't think it's pocket kings or pocket aces, so I blocked those and he might have shoved those. But now after that check here, Time bank is back, that's the good news. But I don't bluff here. I'm gonna lose to pocket nines, not pocket tens. Too bad. But then again, adventurous of him to call pocket nines here against the 4-bet. Did I 4-bet? Or do I confuse something here? Last hand, please. Not so fast. He 3-bets. I 4-bet. Yeah, I think it's dangerous to call 4-bets with pocket nines here. It was, we can say, a beautiful board for him. And then I make it 20 into, what was it? 30 something. It seems like he doesn't think about the range of his opponent stats wise. Not even 300 hands. 1 hour and 4 minutes of play. So he's just basically an okay guy to play against. But you need the value hands from time to time against him. It doesn't have to be a pre-flop prime poker pair like aces or kings, but it has to be a good hand on the flop and a somewhat committing action on pre-flop, like a 3-bet and a 3-bet call. That's enough, and he will be willing to call very wide post flop. Guy still plays 68% of hands after almost 75 hands. Beautiful. Beautiful, he's to my right. Unfortunately, I can capitalize on that fact yet. Nope, not gonna play incomplete. I did underestimate how much you can lose by frequently calling 2 bets out of the blinds. That's a real win rate killer. Because you tend to get into hands where you don't have position. Now he raises even. Interesting. And then you're gonna lose to, depending on which positions you call the open raise from. If you're in the big blind and you call an early position open raiser with King Jack because you like that hand, or because it's 10-7 suited, you're gonna bleed away a big chunk of your win rate and probably transition very fast into the reign of losing poker. Been there, done that, and try to not repeat it. And in home games, when I do stuff like that, nobody can understand why I just don't fill up a big blind when there was a win raise and 7 callers or something like that. But it's only another big blind. Yes, but I have 7-2 offsuit. What am I gonna look at? What flop do I want to see? Yeah, that board here probably. But how often does that happen? We are above 300 hands now. Don't like the 3-bet stats of the big blind nor the button that is yet tracked behind me. What am I still doing on this table? That's something that's not good in my play, I have to say. I really have to say. I do recognize that tables are bad, but I just don't find the way out. Table looks promising. 2 to my right are 2 not full stacked players. 2 to my right, 3 to my right. Wouldn't be surprised to see these guys having big gaps between VPIP and PFR. That always indicates players that like to call 2 bets. Or that limp call. Look at this. The only info I had when I scanned the lobby was a player that wasn't full stack. And then high percentage players per flop. So that helped. Oh, look at this. Hand is garbage. I think it wouldn't be an opening race, but this guy didn't play a single hand out of 7. This guy not out of 3. Now we are in a family pot. He donk bets and only has 30 left. So if I continue here, I'm gonna have to call an all-in on the turn or the river most often. So aces. Look at this. That's nice. The guy that most often doesn't open raise, only 7% out of his 70% that he plays, opens with a raise. And I have aces. I'm gonna play the crazy guy and just pot it here. It looks bluffy. Probably he has ace king, but still likes to call. It's 60 in the pot. I only have 70 left. I push it here. Could have been an ace king that didn't hit. You can ask the question once again, why overbetting that turn? Just because I do not like giving away value, and I'm still convinced that most of the time against a player like this that calls the flop, he might even call turn, but then make it like quarter on the turn just to have him call again and have a better stack to pot ratio for him on the river, and then having a card that is dangerous. No, I do think it's okay to do these kind of moves. I would just hope people will pay me off more. Two callers here, very scary board. I'm not gonna continue bet here. Having the 8 of hearts probably helps. He's a 54% guy. Folds to flop, c-bet only 33%. Nope, not gonna do it. But I'm gonna call here, which is actually borderline, because the 8s are most often not good against this action sequence. There's a 9, a 10, a whole flush on the board, so what am I searching for? With my pocket 8s, but calling 2 to win 11 probably is the argument why I did that. Yeah. Could have probably stole here. Gonna do a 3-bet here. Ace 2 suited. The guy might call because he has a big gap between PFR and between VPIP and PFR. But he folds to flop c-bet 100% of the time. And I might take it home with only a half pot bet on this one high, what was it, one high too low board? Yeah, one high too low. Red line still is positive. Red line, if you don't know, is the winnings that you record or make by not seeing a showdown. So everything that you bet and people fold, doesn't matter if you had a bluff, if you had a value hand. If you win a pot by betting and everybody folds, it's gonna be represented in the green line, but also in the red line. And if you win a pot at showdown versus someone, the red line stays flat in that hand, but the blue line goes up. There's a lot of talk about blue line strategies and red line strategies. So one style is playing very aggressively, fighting for each pot, finding pre-flop, squeeze spots. You will need to bluff a good amount in the right spots, and you can have a very good you can be a very good winning player with a red line strategy. But But I think most players at the micros who have, most winning players at least, who have a blue line strategy, so they wait for good hands, they bet them hard, they get called by people that love to chase draws, or go down to showdown with second pair and stuff like that. And for my entire time, I was a blue line player, probably still am to some extent. He's out of the hand, so... Ooh, what a nice flop. Now every 10 makes the straight. Let's see what happens. It's possible that he has the 10 himself. Very bad would be Queen 10. That would be awful, in fact. But I want to bet here, just because I don't like giving free showdowns. High card ace. No, it's only a big 5 BB pot. Well, I try taking it down. Probably make a pocket pair of 4s or something like that fold. I was talking about my kind of play in the longest time of my active poker, let's not call it career. I will overcall here just because I would like to hit the set against him, which happens. Both have checked. I'm gonna bet small here for once, because I don't want to end the hand. I don't want to end the hand right here, which unfortunately happens. Yeah, I was a blue line player, but these situations, for one instance, where I really bet hard my value hands, but also the other ones that we saw before, that I'm more actively using bluff spots on rivers, where I used to just check it back. Probably helped to bring up my red line just a little bit. And then the big challenge that Sky Matsuhashi in the Poker Forge did or announced in one of his recent podcasts, YouTube videos. It's often both, lately, a podcast and a YouTube video. And I think it was it May or June, don't remember, May or June 22, he had a podcast series where he said he's gonna play pre-flop, no pre-flop calls whatsoever for a whole month. Only exception is you bring it in pre-flop and your opponent makes the final all-in, so you will have to call, of course, and that's allowed. He said try it out for just 2 or 3 sessions, be very strict. And so I did. I'm gonna do a bluff raise here on this dangerous board. But he seems to have a piece of that board, so not gonna continue my bluff on this ace high flop. Ace high board when he's not scared from the flush cards. Easily plausible he's sitting on a set or the ace of hearts Bluff gone wrong. I do think I had my reasons for doing it. Even though he was actually unknown here. I only had three hands on him. So probably not the situation you should do stuff like that. Both players fold 33% of steal, which is not an awful lot. And I slowed down on this table, stealing from the button because of that, but Queen 10 offsuit on the button, you do need to have very good reasons not to open up that hand in the button. 2020 folds to 3-bet 100%. Later on higher limits, I will have to learn that these blind versus blind spots need more aggressive blind defense. Broader ranges both to 3-bet, both in value part of that range, but also on the bluff part. Here on the micros, I think it's just wasting money and buying a more variance kind of game. Buy it. I would have liked to isolate this guy, but the hand is not good to play against the shallow stack. It needs the room to get to the river, and you just don't have it here. Yeah. Let's not be result oriented, okay? Table is breaking down, you see, but here I'm gonna 3-bet out of position. Don't like the min bet here. So 3-bet 100%. I could c-bet. I only have a 50% c-bet. I do bet very small. That is funny. That is actually really funny, because if you can take down an 18 BB pot with just 3.6 big blinds, that's a commercial for small ball poker, I'd say. Yep, the session is 1 hour 23 minutes, and I'm gonna time out on this table here. Even though I like this kind of opponent, that's just a gold mine actually. I might add another orbit here. This player is just too good to be true. Could change back to my two-table layout. So, we'll use the remaining time in an orbit that can I even make that? I can't even speak anymore. Probably time to finish. We'll use the time that comes with another orbit on that single table that is really juicy to watch in the graph and take some kind of end session analysis. I did refer to my session focus 2 or 3 times at the beginning until the middle of that session, but I didn't talk about how I feel later in the stream. But I can say that I was really happy here, and I just felt good most of the time. Does he fall to c-bet? Only 31%, and the board is just plain ugly because it has so many middling cards here. Good thing he's passive, so there's a small chance he might win a showdown with ace high. You have pair of jacks. Gonna try a value bet and take it down without the showdown. Now after that hand I will refresh the graph manually. You should see another spike in the red line because it was a non-showdown win. Plum. Yes. Wanna check my stats for today only. Today I will isolate here, trying to play another hand with my friend here. Let's hope that it doesn't happen what just happened. Just the tag here that I, shame on me, did not tag yet. He 3-bets and he's deep and not really deep, only 1.25 stack. Could have thought about calling if it was Jack 10 suited, because these hands will more often than not be live, and they can how do you say, evolve while the board is coming to turn and river, whilst the pocket pair of 8s will just be crushed most of the time the more cards that you see on the board. The Jack 10 offsuit just isn't a call of a 4-bet for me. Of a 3-bet, sorry. I isolated the 3-bet. So my stats, a little shy of 400 hands, winning session 7 BBs per 100, that's quite okay. 17-14 with 3-bet of almost 9%. I think 3-bet value is a bit high, but when I play so few hands, it's easy to 3-bet a lot of those because this is a very value heavy range. Pre-flop 2-bet and fold 80%. I think that's okay. I don't like calling too many 3-bets. That too is a real win rate killer. Call 2-bet pre-flop 8%. The challenge of Sky Matsuhashi I was talking about. If you followed it strictly as I did, you will have 0 here because you just do not call a bet of someone else pre-flop. You just don't do it. And it was the thing that helped my red line. I find it by doing the challenge, I immediately had an almost flat or even positive red line, and that was quite the eye-opener, because then it indicates that calling too much out of the blinds, calling 2-bets because you like to see that pocket pair flop, it indicates that that's the reason why you have to give up later in the hand. And you may win in total by winning showdowns, but you lose because you have too much involvement with pots where you shouldn't be, playing out of position or mediocre hand. So it was an eye-opener. I still try to keep to it a little bit, but not as strictly. 3-bet pre-flop success rate 18%. Okay, that's not much. My 3-bets get called a lot, as it seems. I didn't have a pre-flop squeeze. Really don't like that. Not gonna call here for reasons I just talked about. You need to flop pretty hard and then playing out of position versus the guy that floated the pot. Call pre-flop 3-bet, not a single %. So this, in fact, can also be exploited, of course, by a guy like this one that obviously has an eye on that. Probably this is cold call, can't really say. Cold call is if the 3-bet happened before you do not have invested anything in the pot and you call that 3-bet as a cold call. The other stat is the one I referred to here is fold to pre-flop 3-bet after you yourself opened up betting. So I think it's much more reliable. Let's check out the c-bet stats. Attempt to steal, only 25%, whilst the starting hands chart I do sometimes refer to has an opening range in the button of 31%. So a little tighter than the chart indicates. Probably think I had my reasons because of very aggressive blinds. I usually do decide to steal or not depending on the situation on the table, not on a starting hands chart. Fold to steal 80%, a little bit high probably. C-bet flop 56%. I would like to have that a little higher. And then 62 on the turn and 100% on the river. It increases over these streets, which is kind of special. All flop, c-bet only 20%. Raise flop, c-bet. So I at least have this tool in my range. Might have been a bluff attempt on a monochrome board with hearts versus a guy that I didn't know enough about. Fold to flop, c-bet 60%. Okay. Aggression factor 3.9 correlates with the things I said about the red line, which is better in my case than it was before. My aggression factor 2 did increase somewhat, but look where it's at. It's at the blinds, and I don't really like that. It's in the big blind. I'm so tempted to call him here, even though these guys are 5A. Yeah, I will just try. We even get 3-way to this flop, which is pretty nice. Flop is actually pretty okay for me. I do think I'm beaten here by the mere value of the the cards he does that with. My pocket sixes will not be the best hand most of the time. But the straight probably would be the winner, I'm pretty sure. So if he bets the river again, I'm gonna fold. Most often he's gonna have pocket jacks, pocket queens, pocket kings. So really gonna close it up now. I hope I see you again, Sally. It was nice playing you. I even don't feel bad distributing some chips at the end. And as the stream goes, that's about it. It was 1 hour and 36 minutes. Thank you for watching. I hope you drop by another Thursday. As always, stay cool, good grading, and fun wherever you are in your life.